everyone, Amanda here from Scrimpingmommy.co.uk. Thanks for joining me today, and today I'm going to make a really nice man card. I designed this card specifically to follow along with the Inspire Create challenges, which was first formulated by my lovely friend Hannah McCurler. If you go on over to my blog today, you will see the links to the challenge, so you can go look at all the other cards, and you'll see this card as well. And all of the products that I've used are listed over there as well. So we've started with a general sized card base, which is 11 3/4 by 4 1/8, and then I've scored it in the middle at 5 7/8 and fold to make my card. Then I've got a piece of black cardstock, and this measures 5 3/4 by 4. And then we've got a white stamping layer, and this measures 5 5/8 by 3 7/8. So we've got very tiny increments there, so that we've got quite a big, nice wow factor. And the theme of the challenge this month over at Inspire Create blog challenges was to create something in just black and white. So there's loads of lovely cards over there. Do go on over and have a look. I had this card in my head for a few days, and then when I saw the challenge go up, I thought, perfect, I'll make it. So I'm just going to add on my black layer first, and make sure you've got a nice even border all the way around before that glue dries, and I'm happy with that. I don't do a lot of male themed cards, but this is the second one I've done in the last, what, week or so maybe. You know, that will be it. I'm going back to pink and girly now. I've done my bit. So we can set that to one side and bring in our card base, and we're going to start and do some fun stamping. So the first set I'm going to use is called Timeless Textures, and I'm having this one here. Okay, and then later on we're going to use this one here. I love this stamp set. It is still very much available, and it's brilliant for just adding those, well, textured elements to your cards. We've got splatters. I'm not quite sure what that's meant to be. It looks like a sweet wrapper. This looks like bubble stamping. You know, when you stamp with bubble wrap. We've got a coffee ring, and that's like wood. So yeah, it's a pretty awesome set. So I'm going to load that on a block first, and we're going to stamp around the edge. I am using one of my old basic black Stampin' Up inks because it's nice and juicy. Okay, so I'll just bring it down so I'm not getting my messy hair in the shot, and I'm just going to stamp around the edge. I'm not too worried at this point whether it's lined up or whether I've got gaps like that, because what I'll do is I will just simply go back over it, okay, and cover that up. Doesn't matter. Alright. You can't really do it wrong with this kind of stamp, and because, you know, it's meant to be a textured look, so there's no right or wrong way of doing it. You just keep stamping until you're happy with the look, and I think that is an awesome edge for a card, for any card really. Or if you just change up the colour, you're going to change up the whole look, and you could even have a soft girly looking card, anything. It's awesome, I love it. But I'm going to go over that again, and there. So we've gone over each bit sort of twice, but not in a precise way. I just want that ink to be quite dark. Okay, so just to make sure I don't have any white edges, because I don't want any white edges showing, I'm just getting a bit of sponge, and I am going to flick ink on the edge of my card there to blend in where that card has been cut. Okay, and what you can also do is just sponge a little bit in the corners, just for a bit of added texture. Right, so now I'm going to, I've got my cars. Now I've pre-cut these, and I've fussy cut these from the Classic Garage DSP, which is awesome. Okay, so I'm going to put them about there. But what I'm going to do first, because these have been fussy cut, they are, you know, you're going to have the lines of the paper and they're orange on the back. So what I'm doing is I'm getting my black Stampin' Right marker, or you could just use that, but I don't want too much. I want to control the black that I'm going to do a bit more. So I'm just very carefully drawing all the way around. This is probably me being a little bit over fussy, but to me it makes a difference. You can miss this bit out. But for some reason it just makes a slight difference. You've just got to be careful and hold your pen quite straight, so you're not drawing all over your image. Okay, all the way around there and around there. So I don't want any of that white edge of that paper to show. Okay, so that's that one, and then I'll do the second one really quickly, like so. They're really easy to cut out of these cards. They've got quite a forgiving sort of line to them, so there's no fiddly bits to cut out or anything like that. So that DSP is super easy, and there is also, you know, there's coordinating stamps and everything. I'm a little bit tight when it comes to buying mail themed things, so I've just used the DSP and coordinating it with the other stamp sets. So I'm going to have one card there and one card there, I think. Is that what I've done? I've used different cards. Here's my original sample, and I've used different cards so this one is slightly longer than the ones I've used there, but it's okay, it will still work. So now I'm going to get out this like grid sort of a stamp. Okay, and then we're just going to stamp in the general area of where I'm going to stick the cards. Again, it's not measurable, it's just really just in the general area. Alright, like that. Simple as that. Just put that away a minute, although we will be using it again in a moment. And then I'm going to, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to add my card base, add my stamp layer onto my card base. That's going to be the easiest way to do it before I add my cards on. Okay, I'll add that on there like so. I do like creating with lots of colours, but sometimes if you just pick just two colours, like here we've got black and white, and just stick with those two colours throughout, it takes the headache out of coordinating the colours, and you can come up with some very striking cards by just using the two colours. And I mean, nothing coordinates better than black and white, does it? It's perfect. It's a match made in heaven. Right, so I'm going to layer that car. Am I? Yes, I'm going to put this car on here. So following the tip that I was taught, if you just press those dimensionals down, the backings come off slightly easier. Okay, and I'm just going to layer that over my gridded kind of stamped area. Press, press, press. And then that's it, I'm over men cards. I'm over it, I'm done. I'm going back to my pink girly frilly cards. Okay, I'm only kidding. So I put that on there. Now another touch that I did do on my original sample, I'm not going to do it on camera because there's a drying time. I don't know if you can see that I have got a shine there to my windows on my cars, and I did that by adding some glossy accents. Okay, I won't do it on camera because you've got to put it on quite carefully and then set it aside, and it takes a good, I don't know, 10-15 minutes to dry. So if you want to do that process, you can do that. So now I just need some cardstock to make my my little registration plate. That was the idea that I had. So what I'm doing first of all is I am just punching out one of the classic labels there. Okay, and then I'm getting my labeler alphabet, which it seems a very fiddly die, but it's worth it. It is fiddly, I'm not gonna lie, you know, because them stamps are small, you know, but it is worth it. Okay, I don't bother trying to line them up and get them straight. I just stamp the letters that I need. Okay, and then I want an A. Just put that there because that'll need a clean. So I just stamp what I need and then I cut them out and use the ones with the black square like that. And what I did for a bit of fun was I did hashtag and number 1. So on this one I've put hashtag dad1 like it's a number plate. So I'm going to replicate that. So let me do my number 1. There we go. And my hashtag. I mean, you could change that to hashtag mum, couldn't you? Or hashtag granddad or anything at all, because that is the good thing about this alphabet stamp is you can spell whatever you want. Okay, do that all day long. Right, so then I'm just going to get my snips and I'm going to just trim around these and cut them out. Doesn't take long. It's a tiny bit fiddler, but you know, if we want cool elements on our card, then we'll do fiddler. We don't mind. Okay. You can fast forward me if you want. I'm not editing. I'm too lazy. Well, it's not that I'm lazy. I don't have time to be editing my videos. It's quite a long process when you see fancy professional videos with awesome editing and they've got, you know, they've got things that come up and fancy this and fancy that. It's taken them hours and hours to do that. I rather spend those hours making cards. Thank you very much. So you get it au naturel. Okay. Maybe one day when I'm rich and famous and I can afford to pay somebody to edit my videos, then I'll have them edited. Until then, it is what it is. Right. Right, so I'm just going to edge this, but I am going to be shortening this. So, but for now I'm just going to edge it, and then when I've shortened I'll just go around the area where I've shortened. And that just gives it a little bit of a border, simple border, so I don't have to then start layering it on more cardstock. Alright, so each one of these now I can stick on with, where's my hashtag gone? I've got dad number 1, where's my hashtag? Have you not cut it out? Is that it? I've lost my hashtag! I did do it, I know I did. Is that it? No. There it is. I need the hashtag. It's an important element in this modern day and age of hashtagging everything. Right, so let's start and get this together now. I'm going to zoom in a right tiny bit so you can see. I'll cover up that. Shall I cover up all of that mess? So the little mini tiny dimensionals are awesome for this, and they do fit. Okay, they do fit. Just make sure you've got them with a flat edge top and bottom sort of thing. So there's a D, and if you feel like they're protruding, squeeze them in a bit with your fingers, but it should fit. Okay, I mean, you don't have to use dimensionals, you could just glue them on. Alright, but I just wanted to add a little bit more dimension to my letters so they stood out, obviously, because that's what dimension means. I'm getting a little bit excited because we have our Stampin' Up on stage this weekend. I can't wait. A lot of my team are joining me. Lots of new ladies who haven't been to on stage before are coming. So I'm super excited. And I think I might be sharing some parts of it on my social media, so keep your eyes peeled. Right, so we've got hashtag first. This is just the tiny fiddly bit, and then we'll be sorted. So hashtag, I don't think it matters which way that goes. I'm going to have it that way. And I'm just going to line these up the best I can. It doesn't matter if they're not perfect. It's a handmade card and it's meant to be, you know, it's a faux number plate. So it's not meant to be perfect. Okay. Like I say, you could have dad, you could have granddad if you've got the patience to spell it. You could have brother. You could have mum. You could have anything. Okay, hashtag dad 1. Maybe you'd put hashtag 1 dad, but number plates normally have a number at the end, so that's why you've done it that way around. Okay, put that on there like that. Just try and line them up a little bit so they're not completely on the wonk. Okay, and then we'll add our number 1. Then I'm going to show you how we're going to shorten this because it's too long. Okay. Alright, so there's our little number plate. So what we do now is we put the pointy bit, you know, sometimes I'll put it in that way and punch, and that makes like a you know, like a tail, like what I call a sailor tail. But if you want the same shape but just shorter, then you go in this way, okay, and you go in there, she says. There we go. So I'm just lining that up. I'm having a look. I want it about there. And I'll just nip that end off. And then I've got that same shape. And then, you know, obviously I'm going to just have to just go back over those little edges. I'm quite impressed with my hand-eye coordination today. Normally I would have drawn like up my arm with that black pen. But I'm doing quite well there. And I am gluing this. We don't need double dimension. We've already got one lot. So, and then I am putting that about there. And then we will just leave that to dry. Just give it a little press. And there we go. And like I say, if you want to go that little extra touch and add the glossy accents to the windows, just add it carefully and set it aside to dry. And it will be ready in no time. So there you go. On this one, I didn't stamp all the way around, if you notice, and I inked with my sponge instead. And on this one, I have gone all the way around with that lovely stamp. So whichever you like, take your pick, give it a try. Don't forget to check everything out over on my blog. Do leave me a comment on my blog. I do read all of them because I get notifications when you leave me a comment on my blog, and I love reading them. So do nip on over, and I'll see you again perhaps tomorrow. Bye for now.